Hello, this is Peter Schmidt of the 92ers.com website, and I'm going to provide some brief thoughts on why purchasing power matters. Well, from the standpoint of a wage earner, or really anyone who measures their wealth in a unit of currency, purchasing power is almost all that matters, because it's where the rubber meets the road and where your work or your wealth can be converted into physical goods or the items that you want or would like to have. And one of the issues that we have today is, of course, the money doesn't hold its value. And that leads to a lot of confusion around exactly how much things have cost. Now, before we had money, we used barter, where you would have to trade for goods. There were obviously some real inefficiencies with barter, not the least of which was that you had to be skilled enough to make a good, by yourself that you could then trade. The other thing, of course, was you had to find somebody who wanted what you had, and they had to have what you wanted. So, of course, it led to a lot of inefficiencies, and that once we got money, we got the division of labor, and production exploded, and the price of goods came down, and it was obviously a much better system when we had money. But the advantage that barter had was it was transparent. When you bought something, you knew exactly what you were getting and you knew exactly what you paid. And that's really no longer the case. I mean, we know how much we're paying in money, but what that money will actually buy is hardly constant. And it's constantly changing, and it's basically constantly going down. I mean, you can look at any number of things. I mean, I think in the late 1960s, people only made $7,000 a year, but a house might have only cost, $15,000. Now people make, let's say 7 times as much, $50,000, but the house is, 20 times more expensive. So yeah, people are getting paid a lot more money in dollars, but it's buying a lot less. And on my website, I wrote this little article where I talked about it's the triplex penthouse apartment on the South Tower of the San Remo apartment building in New York. It's probably one of the most desired apartments in all of New York City. It sits right on Central Park West, and the San Remo is a very famous building. And Bruce Willis and Demi Moore actually bought that apartment in 1990, and they paid about $7 million for it. Well, Demi Moore, they got divorced. Demi Moore sold it 28 years later for $45 million. Now, over that same period of time, the price of the San Remo apartment, it went up 5 times faster than wheat. And it went up 3 times faster than electricity. So if you're a wheat farmer, or you're like me, you're an engineer who helps to build power plants, you're falling behind the people whose wealth is measured in assets, like real estate or stocks or classic cars or art that's bought at auction. Those people, their purchasing power is increasing at the expense of the people who are actually paid wages. And of course, the most obvious manifestation of this then is the enormous concentration of wealth, which is basically unprecedented right now. In any sort of free market system where wealth is a consequence of production, wealth will almost automatically have to be dispersed. It's just a natural consequence of building something or making something that other people want. The wealth gets pushed out from the producers to the people that actually use the goods. And we have the exact opposite occurring today. And, we talk about it from the standpoint of concentration of wealth. But what it really is, it's a consequence of the root cause, which is the money no longer maintaining its purchasing power. So not only does purchasing power matter, it's almost the only thing that matters. So again, this was Peter Schmidt with the 92ers.com. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoy. Bye.